show you what is inside this paper pumpkin box. All right, so here we have our box. They always include directions. They are like step by step, kind of show you how to do the things and how the pieces go together. And then on the back, there are always some alternate card ideas. And this turkey, oh my gosh, he is so cute. So if you make these in October and you hand them out before Halloween or earlier in the fall, you can stick with the pumpkins. If you decide you want to make turkey boxes, I mean, that's darling. So super fun. And then we have all the pieces. So there are these, they're all double-sided, so they're beautiful on the inside, or you can use the backs. There is a stamp set. Let me turn this over so you can see. Now, if you get your paper pumpkin box as a subscriber, you get the stamps and an ink spot, and this month is soft succulent, so a great way to expand your collection of ink. If you get it as a kit refill, you aren't going to get the stamps or the ink, but you'll get all the other pieces here, the consumables. So you would just have to add some extra greetings of your own to do these cards. There's some little tags, there are these little leaves, there are adhesive strips, so even the adhesive is included, and then gold mine of these wired craft paper ribbon things. So we're going to use some of those. And then if you want to make your pumpkins into pumpkins, can you guys see those? They are, there you go. You can see their little jack-o'-lantern eyes and faces and so forth. Super sweet. Okay, if you're not a subscriber, you can get prepaid subscriptions. The link is in the video description until September 30th. If you buy at least a 3-month, then you can get a free celebration gift with that. So definitely something to check out. Let me know if you have questions about that. All right, so let's make one of these boxes very quickly. I'll show you how they go together. They are kind of a breeze. You can use the adhesive included, or my favorite adhesive for box things is the multi-purpose liquid adhesive. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that. And the first thing you're gonna do is fold on all those score lines, and then all you have to do is flip this around, add a little adhesive. Remember, if you can see it, it is enough. You don't have to use a ton of this glue. It does take a second to dry, so you want to go ahead and hold your box in place. There we go. For, I don't know, you could sing little songs, like washing your hands, right? Sing the alphabet song or something like that. And then you're going to go ahead and add adhesive on all these little tabs, and same thing goes. You don't need a lot, just if you can see it, it's enough. Now, my hint for assembling is to just go ahead and press this box down like this, so that I have it folded flat. I know you guys are looking from the top, but I have it folded flat down, so it is just setting down right exactly where it's gonna be, and I know that it's gonna finish in the correct, like, sort of conformation, the correct shape, so that it's gonna stand up as a nice box, and then I don't have to worry about struggling to get it to stand up. So, all right. Oh, Margie says she's already started his this morning. Tanya says she cleaned the refrigerator yesterday. Well, good for you. My refrigerator is available if you are interested in doing more, Tanya, now that you're like all prepared. Okay, so the thing I was supposed to tell you before was a hint that I got from the box, but they said to go ahead and fold these little shapes. Just give them a little crease before you start. You can do it afterwards if you're like me. I like to use my bone folder, and so I'm holding my bone folder kind of like this, like a paring knife almost, or a peeler, and I just run my bone folder against the bottom of my thumb, and it just sort of breaks those cardstock fibers just enough that it's gonna have an easy bend and a nice shape to it, okay? See how they're just curling just a little bit like that? So to hook this up, I'm gonna fold one without a hook in and hook two on top of it. And then I'm going to take the other two and I'm gonna hook the third one into the top here. So you're just gonna hook the top there underneath. Come on, pumpkin box. And I feel like I'm on The Price is Right. There we go. Okay, so that's it. That's the pumpkin box. So how long did that take? Like a minute? Really, really quick project to put together. Now to finish it off, you are going to go ahead and stamp 2 of the leaves. So from this little leaf sheet here, these guys, you stamp those with the stamp that's included and pop those on there. And I use the little adhesive dots from the kit. And then you can hook one of these little twirly ribbon things around the top. And I'm going to talk about those now that we're making our cards. So, all right, you guys see how quick those are? And then if you want to, you can, I guess we'll do one here. You can take your pumpkin faces and pop these on here to finish off the whole like pumpkin effect. There we go. Oh, these are kind of directional. So mine's gonna have kind of funny eyes. That's okay. So there's your little pumpkin eyes. Okay. All right. So let's back up and do our card now because like I said, I know a lot of people aren't super keen on the boxes. I was talking to a stamper yesterday who got her paper pumpkin, and if you're worried about subscribing and not knowing what's in the kit, that you're not going to like it when it comes, don't worry. Stampin' Up will make it right if you were really unhappy with your kit, okay? But I was talking to this person yesterday, and I said, you know, I like to make a couple of these as little boxes because I keep them around for like the mail lady and our UPS driver who's here all the time. And a hint on stamping on these tags, by the way, leave them in the sheet so that you can tell kind of that they're straight and everything. Okay, so I've got this in Poppy Parade. Anyway, you can also use these little boxes as treats to give out to people. And so I was telling her a story that I think I've told you guys before, but I'll tell you the story again at the end. It was about the produce lady at our local Meijer grocery store. So, okay, so we have our tag ready for our card. And I decided to cut up one set of these boxes. So like I said, there's 12 in the kit and they are gorgeous colors. So this was the color scheme for our box. And so I'll put the extras kind of away here. But I cut up one full set of the boxes. So 4, I still have 9 boxes left, which gives me lots of possibilities. And I'm gonna bring in my trimmer and I'm gonna show you how I did this. So basically for each one of these, I just cut a panel off and then I'm going to trim these down so that I have sort of the straight piece that I want. So you can make strips from these that are pretty much the length by about 7/8 of an inch wide. So if you're planning. So basically I'm gonna put this in my trimmer, hold this down, bring my trimmer blade in and cut off that long strip. Then I'm gonna flip it around this way, bring it back here, and you can make sure it's straight if you watch the ruler. I do love my Stampin' Trimmer. Hold this down here, just hold the plastic and run that through again. And now I have a strip of colored designer series paper that's all ready to go. So I have, through the magic of television, these all cut out, and then I'm gonna just line them up and take my scissors and I'm going to straighten the end. A little safer to do it on your trimmer, maybe would have been a good choice here, but I've got my scissors in my hand, so I'll go with it. All right, so now I have these pieces of designer series paper. So I wanted to layer these on a card, and I decided to go with Poppy Parade as my card base because it's such a pretty red, and it matches the papers here. So I've got this set, and then I kind of arranged these in the way that I wanted them to go. I usually don't put the matching color at the bottom or the top just because it stands out a little bit better this way. And then I decided that I wanted to figure out how to incorporate one of these fabulous little wired pieces. So I'm gonna show you my tips for this. You're gonna need a pen of some kind or a pencil. And I have one that's like a little smaller than usual. Well, there it is. Okay, there's this bling one. Check out these blingy pens that we got from the Stampin' Up! Leadership event that just happened. Super fun. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to twist this around my pen, and this is the same technique that I used for making the box top, okay? So I'm gonna twist this around, and then I'm gonna take it out and I'm gonna twist it around the other direction. So I sort of have things going in a couple different directions, right? All right, so just kind of like that. And then I'm gonna take the other end and twist that. And one of the things that I love about the wire, I'll just go around a couple times here. The wire is that you can insist that the wire just go the direction that you want it to. So the only thing for a card versus the 3D box is that you're gonna wanna make sure that you kind of flatten it out. So I'm going to make it all in one plane, so it's just flat and it will attach to our card. And then we're gonna hook our greeting on there. Okay, so, all right, we've got this kind of a little curly Q thing. There we go. So you can see that how we started doing that and with our ribbons. Now, or with our pen. Now, what I wanna do though is get our tag on there. So let's get this back up a little bit. And I'm just gonna hook the tag on there and kind of feed it around. I might have to undo that just a little bit so that our tag ends up in the middle. Okay, come on. Okay, might have to undo it a lot. So hint, feed your tag on before you make it all flat. Good thing though, you can go back and reflatten it, not a big deal. Okay, so there we have our tag, and you can use that wire. If it doesn't quite sit flat, just bend the wire up and down around your tag a little bit so that it does sit flat for you, all right? And let's see, that's gonna be about something like that, okay? So we're well on our way here, but I'm gonna bring in these leaves. Now, they're pretty on this side, so you could go ahead and do this. And one of the stamps included is this veining stamp that is a great fit. You just stamp it right over the top like I did on this box, okay? But for our card, I want to do something a little different. So I am going to bring in our blending brushes. And if you watched our video yesterday, we did a blending brush, not yesterday, what day was that? It was the other day, Monday. I did this blending brush card here where I used the blending brushes to burnish the color into the background, and then I used them also directly on our stamp. So this was Pretty Pumpkins, and this was episode whatever, this is what, 192, so that must have been 191. So we're gonna use our blending brushes again, but this time we're gonna use them on our stamp here. Now, I just use this, so I wanna make sure it's clean, because when I use the blending brushes to color my stamps, I really like to start with a light color, okay? Kind of like when I do my Stampin' Blends alcohol markers. I like to ink the stamp first in a light color so that I have a good amount of ink on there to start with, okay? I have a good palette to begin with. So I'm gonna take Pumpkin Pie. I've inked in Pale Papaya. I'm gonna take Pumpkin Pie and I'm going to brush this onto my blending brush just with a little swirl. And then I'm just gonna tap on my stamp. I don't want brush swipes or anything, so I'm just gonna do like a stippling tap kind of thing. And then I'm gonna go back with my Poppy Parade and add some Poppy Parade with another blending brush. And I always get the question, do you wash these? You can if you want to. I just use one for reds and one for oranges and so forth. They don't hold ink indefinitely. They really release their ink, so they're a great thing to just sort of adapt, okay? So there is that. So on my next one, I might do a little bit less of the Poppy Parade so that I have more orange throwing through, but I'm gonna stamp my, sorry if my head is in your way. I'm gonna stamp my leaf veining over the top. So there's one. I'm gonna give this a quick wash. Jeez, we have like things flipping all over the place. And then this one, I'm gonna go ahead and ink again. So same thing, Pale Papaya, add some stipple, some color on there with Pumpkin Pie, and then maybe, oops, I just got a little lint in there. Just a little poppy on this one. And go ahead and stamp that. And so that comes out here. Add the veining. And then because we are, of course, going to want to stamp on our envelope Here we go. And our the inside of our card, I'm gonna do 2 more. So you guys know the steps by now. Clean your stamp, start with pale papaya, stipple on some pumpkin pie, stipple on some Poppy Parade, and then add our leaf here. Okay, so there's our envelope. And then the inside of our card, and I'm gonna use the craft cardstock for this. So this is 6x6 paper that is true craft. It's a little bit heavier, so you could use it for making boxes and stuff very nicely. It is in the holiday catalog, the July through December catalog, on the Christmas page with the gingerbread stamps. So think about that if you are looking for some really great craft paper. The nice thing too is it's a little bit heavier, so you can get away for using it for some things that you might maybe not otherwise, use cardstock because it's nice and sturdy. Okay, so that, and last little veining. Okay, and then there's this splotch stamp, and I'm going to use this for a really subtle little background there. On the inside of our card. Okay, so I just did that in pale papaya. All right, so now we have our pieces ready, and I'm gonna show you how to put this together with the all-important wire and how that's gonna work on our card. So let's see, we'll go ahead and attach this on the inside of our card. Got my Seal Plus, which I love for attaching card layers. Seal works too. Sometimes I just like the extra heavy. All right, so that's gonna go inside. And then for the front, I want to give these little pieces kind of like a home base to attach to, okay? Rather than having them be just floating on the front of our card, I wanna give them a layer. And so I brought in this craft paper here. See how that works? And then I wanted to sort of connect them a little bit with a vertical line. So I decided to bring in a piece of the gold. This is the gold and rose gold specialty paper. Here are those 2 colors. Let's see. There we go. The rose gold and gold specialty paper. And they are in the annual catalog, so in the big book, if you were looking for that. And then we're gonna just layer this kind of across here. So let's start putting these in. And when I do papers like this, I usually like to kind of take off one at a time. So I have them sort of mostly arranged where I want them, and then I go back and take them off a little at a time to apply them. Another good strategy is to start with the top and the bottom, and then fill in between, rather than starting from the bottom and marching up and then realizing that I've put this a little bit wrong spacing, but you're already attached on all the other pieces. So this gives you a little bit more flexibility to kind of keep an eye on things if you do a top and a bottom and then go up. So when you're working in 3 or 4, use that top and bottom, okay? All right, so I'm going to pop this on here, and then this will give us a nice sturdy home base for working with our ribbon here. Okay, if I cut out there for a second, sorry about that. Anyway, it's just a little bit shorter than our craft layer. And this craft layer, if you're looking for it, is it's 4 3/4 by 3, let me measure, 3.5. There we go. Okay, all right, so now we have our pieces ready. And I'm gonna bring in our wired ribbon here, and we're going to work on attaching this. So I've got it like wired so that it's flat, okay? So it sort of lays flat on its own. We don't wanna like work against that. And I'm gonna start by putting a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of our tag greeting here, so that will sort of give us some extra stability on things. And then I'm gonna look at the front or the back of this, and I'm gonna figure out where are the spots that are going to actually contact the card. So you wanna think about the parts of your wire that are the most contacting there. and then add adhesive to those spots. Okay, try to keep it off of your fingers. Okay, which I'm totally not successful at this point. But I'm gonna go ahead and layer that tag on, and then I'm going to set the rest of the ribbon, the wired ribbon down, okay? And then, because you guys know, I always tell you, this ribbon doesn't grab instantly, or this glue doesn't grab instantly. You have to just give it a couple of seconds. So I'm holding it here. Usually I put a clear block on it, but we'll kind of do it this way. Oh, so I can tell you my story. So this one time I had some Halloween treats. Sometimes I like to just put little treats in my purse to have on hand for like when I go to the post office, and the clerks are amazing at my post office. Or whatnot. And then, or when I stop at the junior high to drop off a band bag or something like that, I'll just take a little treat with me, and then I will just give the little treat to somebody, right? Because why not, right? Who doesn't want chocolate and a little like smile in their day? So I was at the grocery store, and this very kind lady helped me with my find something in the produce department. And I said, oh, I have little treats that I was sharing with friends today, and I have an extra. I would love to share one with you if you'd like it. And she's like, okay. I think nobody ever does that, right? So she's like, yeah, okay. So I gave her this little wrapped candy and a little, bit of cardstock, basically, with a little greeting that said thanks or thinking of you or something. And she burst out in tears. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Did I upset you? And she kind of smiled through her tears, and she said, you know what? My day has been going horribly, and I really, really needed this. So thank you so much for just that little bit of kindness and thoughtfulness for the people around you. So she was really happy, and you just never know when somebody might need a little treat. So if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber and you weren't sure what you were gonna do with these sweet little pumpkin boxes, think about having, just brighten somebody's day, right? It could be anybody. You could know the person or not. And then if you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber and you get the refill, you can get refills as a perk of being a subscriber. You could make them, or just make any boxes or little treats or something to share, or just a card. So what you do with your crafting makes a difference for the people around you. So make sure you're doing that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and attach this now. So this one I'm just gluing, and it's gonna pop kind of here underneath. And since we have so much dimension in our ribbon, I'm not gonna worry too much about like making things flat. And in fact, I might actually go ahead and take my bone folder and just round the edges of this leaf up just a little bit to give it that extra little bit of dimension. And then I think, yep, this one's gonna go right underneath there. So put the glue in the middle where it's gonna stay, and then pop that together. All right, now we're clearly not done, because there has to be bling involved, right? So I was thinking about bling for this card, and if you want to be like way over the top, the gilded gems are a perfect match for this rose gold and gold specialty paper. If you wanted to be a little bit more subtle, the champagne jewels are a great choice. So I decided, I know you're shocked, to go with the champagne jewels. So I'm gonna bring this out here. Always cut your packets from the side so that it's really easy to access the things that you want. And I'm gonna grab my, take your pick tool with the putty tip and do my slide and stick. So let's see, put one down here, and maybe one out here, maybe one kind of up here. And I like to do odd numbers. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, which means we need one more. I'm gonna pop it up here on the side. There we go. So there's 5 of our pretty champagne gems. So what do you guys think? Yes, and Sue asked about the champagne gems. Yes, they are in the annual catalog, so they're part of that bling page with all the choices. And I know sometimes it's people ask, like, how do you decide which gems to use? I actually keep mine in a drawer where I have them all like stacked up. So here, I'll show you behind me. Can you guys see? Here's my drawer. Okay, so I have them all stacked up. And when I want something, I just kind of flip through and I'm like, no,